Ooh, hello. So, based on the title, you know what this is about. In this one, I'm going to be complaining about things about my job. I'm just frustrated, and I figure maybe this is a way to just vent and feel a little bit better. Fundamentally, these things that I'm complaining about, it's nothing like I'm going to quit my job over. It's not to that level. It's just little things, but they just irritate me because I got to deal with them, and I don't want to. So the first thing is, how do I start this out? So for me, I am pretty much a hardcore introvert. I don't like talking to people. I don't want to be talked to. I don't have very many friends, and that's not because I probably couldn't make friends. I just don't want them. I want to be alone. When I go home, I want to be by myself in my apartment. Just me, doing whatever the heck I want to do by myself. Well, me and my stupid cat, but a cat don't really count. But yeah, and like when I'm in my office at work, I wear headphones. Half the time I'm not even listening to anything. I just have the headphones in just to make it look like I'm listening to something, just so that way then it looks a little bit more standoffish, like nobody's going to come in and try to chat with me, because he's not going to be listening anyways. Or at least that's what my attempt is. I don't know, maybe people that want to chat don't care. I don't know. It seems to work. No one really bugs me, but still, point is that's why I do it. It's a strategy. I don't want to be bothered. I mean, if I could, I would shut my door, but I just feel like that's way too much. It would probably be weird if like they came down, my door was shut for no reason. I mean, at one point, I even had the whole area to myself, so there's two doors. I could have shut the door to the area and then shut my door, so it'd be super blocked off from everyone. But, yeah, so how this irritates me is because when I go out in the shop, so let me back up a tiny bit. So I need to go out in the shop every day. I need to check in. We have two main departments I need to check in with. There's a compression department and an injection department. So back up a tiny bit more. I work at a molding company. So we have compression molding and injection molding. So anyways, I check in with compression because, well, compression is a very basic process, but it's also very messy and, like, how do I put this, like, rough. Like, the way the machines work and the operators are just idiots. Nobody there is, like, trained or smart. It's some loser off the street. You get paid minimum wage, and they're just in there banging away at the tools, literally breaking things every day. I mean, the tool room guy makes jokes and calls them chimps and stuff, the apes down there, because they break something every single day, and it's ridiculous. How are you casually breaking steel every day? So anyways, what I need to do, as, you know, being in engineering, I need to go down and there's a few things I gotta check. One, I gotta check, has there been anything damaged? If so, I need to keep track of that. That way then we can keep a record of what needs to be rebuilt. The second thing that I need to check is I need to check if there's tools that need to be reworked. So largely when something is reworked, it's just the plating. We chrome plate our products, well, our tools, so that way then it creates almost like a non-stick surface. It's not Teflon, it's chrome, but you know, when the plastic's on there, it comes right off. If you didn't plate it, you'd never get your tools off. It would stick to the steel and it would be a problem. So anyways, obviously over time though, that wears off. I mean, we only put 2 to 3 tenths. When I say tenths, I mean the industry way of saying it, like 10 thousandths. So it's 0.0002 to 0.0003 inches worth of plating on it. It's very thin. It's just a little coat that we put on it. So anyways, over time it wears out, especially in compression. Injection, it can last forever because injection's a lot more controlled and way less harsh of an environment. Like in compression, it's hot. The presses need to run at least, 350 degrees minimum. Some of them are higher. It depends on the material that you're running. I mean, there's only two options. We use urea or phenolic, but I think the urea runs pushing 400, where the phenolic is like not really mid, like 320. So anyways, it just wears out. So that's another thing I gotta check. What's on the shelf that needs to be reworked? And then I gotta get that together and then contact the platers and let them know, hey, I got some stuff that needs to be picked up, or one of them I have to run out to now, which irritates me. I'll get to that in a little bit though, because that's part of the things that are irritating me. But anyways, yeah, so that's what I gotta do in compression. Oh, the other thing I gotta do is I started this checklist with he's basically the compression department's back room supervisor, I guess you could call it. Like, they got their whole back room of where they keep all the tools and where they repair tools. Well, not really repair, but, you know, they'll, like, try to buff things sometimes before we send it out to get replated. So that's where they can buff things. That's where they can, if something gets mildly damaged, like, say one of the plates is warped somehow, they can set it up and try to bang it out to flatten it a little bit. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but you can make it a little better instead of throwing the plate out and having to build a new one. So anyways, he's supposed to be the one in charge back there to be on top of all this stuff. But unfortunately, because of how the world is nowadays with staffing, they always need him on the floor instead. They can't afford to have him in the back. I think we just lost a guy too, like he quit on, well, he worked Wednesday, so I think he hasn't been there since Wednesday. So that doesn't help either. That's one less body in the shop, so now he's got to be out on the floor instead of in the back room where he's supposed to be. So anyways, before I was checking in with him daily, but now that he's not able to be in the shop, I just check in with him weekly because I know there's not much that he's probably really done. But anyways, I check in with him just to see if he has any press setup sheets. So what I've been trying to do is I came up with a system where I created forms that he can fill out, then he gives them back to me. I will log them digitally, and I end up with a full catalog on one Excel spreadsheet. So you can see everything that we have for tooling on one spreadsheet and know how much tooling we have, what does it run, like, so how the presses work is they can run, you can have a 10-station press or a 5-station press. But then also, depending on the size of the job, you know, each plate might hold more stacks or less stacks. Like, some of them run 1 up, that means there's only 1 cavity in the plate. 2 up, there's 2 cavities in the plate. 3 up, you get what I'm going. So that's the other thing that we record, like, oh, this runs 3 up and a 5. Okay, so you need at least 15 stacks to run this job. How many do we have on hand? Oh, we got 60 cavities and cores, so we're good to run multiple stations if we needed to. So anyways, that's what I'm trying to do, is build up an inventory, because right now it's kind of like nobody really knows what the inventory is. It's like, oh, we got to run this job. Do you know what we have for tooling? They ask me, I'm like, no. And then they ask him, he doesn't know, because one, he's relatively new too, the backroom supervisor guy that I'm talking about. He's relatively new, not as new as me. I started 2 years ago. I think he's been there maybe 3 years, maybe pushing 4 years. But relatively speaking, that's still new. Like, when the time comes when I'm with my company for 4 years, I'm not going to feel like I'm a major expert either. I'm going to still feel like I'm kind of rookie. Yeah, I'll have 4 years experience, but I'm still not going to feel like a long-term veteran. There's still going to be a lot that I got to learn, one, with the industry in general, and two, with my company. So same applies to him. But two, it doesn't help that he's not in the back room that often, like he's supposed to be. So like, how is he going to know what he has on hand when he's, you know what I mean? He's just like everyone else. He runs back there and grabs what he needs and then heads back out to the floor. So anyways, that's why I've been trying to work on this with him. Every time he does a press setup, let me know what you got. That way then we can start building some intelligence. Okay, so this is what we have. I mean, this inventory was done on this date, like say it's next year. Well, last year we did this on October 28th. This is what we had. But it should be relatively still the same, you know, so anyway, so that's who I check with also. And then I go down to injection for basically the same thing. Like I said, injection doesn't have any problems with the tooling usually, so I'm not there to check tooling, but I have started a press setup sheet with him, the first shift supervisor. So I go down and he records all the specs on the press, what the controller's temperatures are, what the hot half was running at temperature-wise, the cycle time, like the injection stroke, the cool down stroke, all that. It's very detailed, very thorough, and it's awesome. It's something just to have, because that's another thing. We do a lot of R&D troubleshooting when we set up a mold. I mean, not a lot of times on like a common mold, but like if you have something new and different, like we recently have been running PCR because that's the way the industry wants to go. PCR is post-consumer resin, so it's recycled materials. But yeah, so that's the way the industry wants to go. Well, PCR is a pain in the butt to use. It's not, because it's not a pure virgin material, but it's literally trash that's been repurposed. You know, there's a lot of impurities, imperfections, and all that. It doesn't run smoothly. It's challenging. And we ran a PCR product for a big company. I don't know if I can really say who, so I won't. But they're a big company. And, yeah, it probably took just as much time figuring out how to run the mold smoothly as it took for me to design the whole dang thing. Like, we were out there in the shop troubleshooting, coming up with this idea, coming up with that idea for months. I can't even say weeks. It was literally months. It took us forever before we finally got it down pat. And even at that, I don't even think it's perfect. I think it's just as good as we're going to get it without dicking around anymore trying to figure out how to run this material. If I'm not mistaken, the gate area, which is, where the material is injected / cuts off, the gate area isn't perfect, but it's close enough that we're just going to let it slide, because at least the jar itself looks pretty decent compared to what we had before, which was cloudiness, haziness, swirls, bad shrink. Like, it's supposed to be 4,000 shrink because it was made out of PET, but like it would be shrinking way more, like 10,000s. So then we had to figure out what the back pressure was supposed to be to overcompensate for that. Oh, it was a lot of work. So anyways, unfortunately, I didn't start this press setup logging in time for that to be part of it. That would have been awesome, though, to have, because that was such a pain in the butt that having that information logged would have been perfect. I mean, I guess I kind of do have some of it. We worked with another company as well, and like they gave me their specs that they ran, and I tried to record the specs that we did, but the system I have now is so much better and so much more thorough. So that would have been perfect to have that then. So that way the next time we run this, or something similar, we don't have to dick around as much. We can at least look at that and be like, okay, this is exactly what we did to make it work. So if we do this again, it should work perfect. Anyways, there is also one more section that I check out. It's the tool room. So I don't want to say I'm the tool room supervisor. Like, he doesn't report to me. I'm not his supervisor or anything. But we do work very closely together. Like, basically he gets all his work from me. Like, I work on the project, come up with the designs, and then send them out to him to build. So I do check in with him, see what he's working on, what he's got. If I have any new projects, I give it to him, or maybe a new project's on the way, so I run it by him just so we can have an idea of what's coming. If need be, he can order some steel ahead of time, so that way then by the time I do have the prints done, he can start going on it if he's free. I mean, who knows what else he could be working on, but if he's available, he can get going right away. So yeah, I check in with him. Sometimes I check in, I have nothing to say to him, I just check in just to check in. He's a pretty cool guy. He's got a lot of cool stories, so sometimes I'll check in just to see what he's got to say, whether it's making jokes about some idiot employee or it's something that he did last night. Like, he's in a lot of tournaments. He does bowling tournaments and he does golf tournaments. So sometimes if he has a tournament the night before, he'll tell me about how it went, how he bowled, or how some of the guys on his team bowled, or other teams bowled and stuff. So, but anyways, now that all that backstory's out of the way, my situation that frustrates me is sometimes, way more often than not, people just want to talk to me. And they just talk and talk and talk, and it stresses me out because I'm not a talker. Like, I don't want it. 5 minutes, okay, I'll give you 5 minutes, that's cool. Anything after that starts stressing me out. Like, the way that my morning starts, or almost my morning starts, I get to work for 7:30 on average, sometimes earlier, and I have a stupid meeting I have to go to every day at 8, which I don't even know why I'm in it. It really has no relevance to me. I sit there bored the whole time thinking, oh my word, what time is it? Is this almost done yet? I hate it every single morning. But yeah, so I go from that stupid meeting to trying to make my rounds in the shop, but then people want to talk. So then I stand around, I get stuck. Oh, this person's talking to me now. Cool, there's half an hour wasted. Then I try to go down to this other area. Oh, cool, now this person wants to talk to me. And before you know it, I get out of a meeting at 8:30, but now it's 10 o'clock because just to make my rounds and deal with all these people talking to me. And it's just, it frustrates me because I'm like, what about me gives off the vibe that I want to stand here talking? I don't talk, I just stand there and, oh yeah? Huh. Like, that's my responses. There's no engagement. I'm not giving you proper feedback. I'm standing there. Sometimes I even start getting bored and I'll start looking around. Like, I'm not even trying to be rude. It's subconscious that this happens. And then I kind of realize, oh, I'm looking around and I probably look like a dickhead. But then I think, maybe I don't look like a dickhead. They're still talking to me. Somehow I look interested, apparently. Even though I'm clearly, like, not paying attention to them at all. I just hate it. I guess my problem is because I don't want to come off as rude, because I do need to work with these people. Like, largely, I have a critical role and I need to see these people. So I don't want to be rude and be, like, standoffish. And then, you know what I mean? Then there's problems and they don't like me because I was a dick. But, like, I think that's what my problem just is. I don't know how to just walk away without being rude. I feel like no matter what I do, it'd be rude. Oh, I gotta go, even though I'm gonna go do nothing. Oh, I gotta go so I can go talk to some other idiot. And then it just looks like, well, why couldn't you stand here and talk to me? I don't know. Maybe it's just all in my head. But I just hate it. Like, I just want to walk through. Hi, there you go. That's it. That's our conversation. Hey, how are you? And just keep going. But nope, somehow I get roped into this nonsense. It just stresses me out. Then the next thing I know, it's 9:30, and I'm like, what have I done so far today? I've been stuck talking to all these people. The morning is half over, and I've achieved nothing so far. I hate it. Now to move on to the second thing that irritates me. It's our new purchasing director. I mean, I guess technically she's not new. She always talks about how she used to work for the company. She just had a different role. And I guess she's been in and out multiple times over the years. I think this is her third time back in the company, which I don't understand, because she claims that she has some kind of college degree, and I always imagine she's roughly my age, and I'm like, how did you work here this many times and go to college, and what? It just doesn't add up to me. I don't know, something's weird. I'm not saying she's lying, it's just something's confusing. That just doesn't make sense to me. But anyways, she makes me frustrated. She takes forever with issuing a PO. So I have to write up PO recs for whatever that I need a PO rec for. Whether it's to send stuff out to the platers, or it's I need to buy a new plate for a mold, or I need to get a hot half refurbished, or whatever it might be. I write up the PO rec, send it to her. Now, our first purchasing director, I didn't really work with too much. He left about 3 months into when I got my job, so I don't know him too well. I know of him. If I saw him in public, I'd recognize him. I'm sure he'd recognize me. I mean, I do have a very unique name, so I'd probably stick out in anybody's head just because of my name. So yeah, like I'm saying, I didn't use him too much, but from what I recall, I don't remember him taking forever to issue me POs. Then the guy that replaced him, unfortunately, he didn't last too long. You know, COVID happened. Oh, no, he got started during COVID. I think he lasted... How long did he last? Now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know. He was a cool guy, though. I think he lasted maybe a year. But, yeah, he would get me POs super quick. I would send him the PO rec, and either that same day I would have my PO, or I would get it early the next day. Like, if he didn't get it to me the same day, it would be like sometime before lunch the following day. I never had to wait forever for him, and I never had to bug him. Our new one, she takes forever. It's annoying. I sent her a PO rec. Today is what, the 29th? Yeah, today's October 29th. I sent her a PO rec. Actually, I sent her two on October 14th. I still haven't gotten those yet. POs yet. That's 2 weeks and 1 day at this time. And it's not like I sent them to her and forgot about them. I've reminded her twice now. One time in person, that was probably a week after I sent it. And then I sent her another PO rec recently, maybe earlier this week, maybe let's say Monday. And I reattached those two PO recs that I sent her on the 14th and said, oh, I also want to send these as a reminder to just not forget about them. I haven't received any of them. That's 3 POs now that I'm still waiting on for over a week. 2 of them over 2 weeks. And it's like, how much longer do I gotta wait? What is so hard? Like, the thing is I complain because I don't know what the job is like. I never did it. But based on how these other guys did it, I know that it doesn't take this long. If the guy that we used to have could bang him out in the same day, then I know it doesn't take that long. What do you need 2+ weeks for to get me a dang PO? From what I do understand, it's software. All she has to do is take my PO rec and copy exactly what I put into her software, and then the software generates the PO. She prints out, well, it doesn't even have to print it out. She just exports a PDF, sends me the PDF, boom, bam, done. Why does that take 2+ weeks? It's just annoying me because it's like this with every PO too. It's not like it's just recent, because I know she's got a lot of stuff going on now. It's not just recent. This is like how she's been the whole time that she's been back with the company. Well, not in the very beginning. In the very beginning, she was doing good. She was probably trying to make herself look good while she was getting reacclimated with the company. But now that she's like reestablished, she takes forever. And it's not just me. It's not like she's for some reason singling me out like she thinks my stuff's not important. The guy in the tool room that I was talking about, he orders stuff too. Like if he needs new tools or needs his tools reworked, or if he needs his plates. There's two kinds of plates. I order the injection plates because those are custom. I have to design them and stuff first, where he orders the compression plates because they're basic. They're the same for every single job. The only difference is how many up is it. Are you putting one hole in the middle, 2, 3, 4? That's it. And they're all the same size because they fit into a standard press. So he orders his compression plates, but I order the injection ones. So yeah, there's that. Or if he needs like nuts and bolts and stuff, an order from MSC or McMaster. Or if he needs steel, that's what he has to write POs for. And like he complains too that she takes forever. He's waiting. I don't even know if he actually has it. Recently, probably earlier this week, he was talking about how he's waiting for something from MSC, and it still hasn't come in. And he says he ordered it like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, well, here's the situation. Is this MSC taking forever? Or has she not even sent out the PO yet to them? So we're waiting on her so you can get your stuff. And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, if I had to guess, I would say it's her. She hasn't even sent out the PO yet. And it's just, it's annoying. Like, I don't know what I should do. If I should complain to the president. Like, I don't want to be like a complainer or whatever, start any trouble or be whiny. But, like, this is just ridiculous. I'm like, what's the situation if she was in charge of payroll? Would everybody be getting paid late because she couldn't do it on time? I don't know. And then I think about correlations with my job. I'm like, okay, sometimes I get PO recs too. I get them for screens. Like if we need to silk screen a jar or a cap or something, the screen, let me back up a little. So it starts with sales, then sales comes up with a package, they send it to me. Basically all I have to do is just I have to make the job folder for that specific screen or label or whatever it might be. And then I need to make sure that the screen that the customer, because the customer supplies the artwork, so I just have to double check and verify that what they are proposing will actually fit on our jar within our guidelines. And once I verify that, then essentially you can say it's approved. And then from there, I make a PO rec that I send out to purchasing, but I also CC sales and internal sales, because at least then I don't have to deal with it. It's not my problem from there. If she takes forever to make the PO, it's not my problem. It becomes sales problem. They are gonna go after her, not me. But anyways, my point is when I get this crap, I usually do it same day. I get the email, I stop whatever I'm doing, I bang that out. I have it returned in half an hour, if not less. So I'm like, okay, that's something similar possibly to her making a PO. So I'm like, if I can bang this out, no problem. Why does it take her forever to make a stupid PO? It's just annoying to me. But yeah, like I said, like I'm not trying to be problematic and complain, but I'm like, maybe I should. I don't know if everybody's aware and how this is becoming a problem. And like, I think others would want to know if they have an employee that's really not performing as well as they should be. Because I feel like she's putting on an image that people think she's doing better than she is. But if you're really dealing with her, like me or the tool room guy, you know that she's doing a terrible job. And it's annoying. And I think that the problem is because she likes to talk. She doesn't talk to me, which is weird, but I'll take it. I'm not a chatter, so I don't want to deal with it. But a lot of the people, so she works upstairs. Where my office is basically in like a finished off basement, if you will. And she works upstairs, like on the normal floor, though. Like if you walk in the front door, you're on that floor. So anyways, from what I understand, she likes to chat with a lot of the people up there, and they complain. They find it annoying. They're like, oh, I hate when she comes over because she just wants to talk forever, and then I got to try to figure... I'm at my desk, so they're like, I can't just weasel my way out. So they're like, I need to try to come up with excuses. I need to try to come up with excuses to get her to walk away, since I can't walk away. So anyways, that's what I'm thinking. Oh, is this why it takes you forever to make a PO? Because instead of focusing on your job, you're dicking off chatting with everyone all shift? And then recently she's been in the shop, And I don't understand fully why. I'm not trying to say this is a problem that she needs to be tattled on or anything. She's just been in the shop, but I don't know why. I don't know what she's doing, because she's purchasing. So what do you need to do in the shop? She literally has like no purpose to be in the shop. So I don't understand what she's been doing. I'm not saying she's dicking off, but I'm like, well, whatever she is doing though isn't helping with getting her to make a PO. You know what I mean? That's time wasted. Don't be in the shop, be at your desk, or at least allot time for it. Because the worst part too is I'm thinking, if this is taking her forever to make a PO for me, then I know that what's happening is everything's just piling up. These POs are piling up. Because from the last purchasing director that we had, he talked about how, you skip a day, say, and then the next day you just have so many PO recs. Because there's me sending them out, there's lining sending stuff out, there's injection sending stuff out, there's the tool room, there's general purpose stuff, like maybe we need office supplies, printer toner cartridges and such, all that nonsense and stuff that I don't think about because I don't do purchasing. I just know what I need. But I'm like, yeah, in the grand picture, in the grand scheme of it all, there's a bunch of stuff that probably needs to be purchased daily. So I'm like, if she's taking forever for mine, then she's taking forever for everything, which just means that there's a giant backlog of stuff because she can't do her job right. I don't know, it's just been irritating me. Because I know, just because, like I said, I know how I work. I know if I was in that department, I could bang these stupid POs out. That's your whole job, basically. And I also know how the last purchasing directors were. So it's just irritating me. And I think it's just been irritating me more recently because of my other things. The people talk to me all the time makes me mad, and then I start thinking about her. I'm still waiting on POs. So that just builds up, so I hate her even more now. And then there's the last thing that I still need to talk about that's been irritating me too. So I think all these things, I think if it was just one problem, it wouldn't bother me as much. But now that there's three, I'm just thinking about all this stuff, and it's just causing rage. Anyway, so now my last problem is with one of our plating companies that we use. So, when I first started out my company, we've had two options. I mean, we still do have two options. But we had one that we kind of, how do I put it? We kind of put them on like the back burner, if you will, because their quality wasn't as on point as this other company. So it was kind of more like if you needed a quick job and it didn't, it could be quick and dirty, so to speak, you'd go to him. Or, if you needed something, if there was too much that we're sending out to the other vendor, then we'd use them or something along those lines. But, so this other company that was better was pretty good. They would come out, they would do pickups, they would drop stuff off, they would turn things around for us in a matter of a couple of days, and fully with pickup and drop. I mean, sometimes they'd turn something around in a day and they'd make me have to go out and pick it up, which no big deal. You turn it around for me in a day, that's cool. But what's happened is recently things between these two companies have viciously flipped. The one that was good is ridiculous now. They take forever to get anything done for us. And I don't understand. I have stuff out that they had since February. Not since February. I think February 25th is the oldest thing I have out to them. And granted, it's just onesie twosie thing, so it's not like it's a huge deal, but that's not the point. The point is they have our stuff that's just been sitting there for almost 9 months now. It's almost November. That'll be 9 months. Well, I mean, I guess you got a ways to go. The 25th did just go by, so 8 months, let's say. But why? Especially when it's onesie twosie, that's easy. Throw it in with something else you're working on, bang it right out, boom. It's just one thing, boom, banged it out, boom, banged it out. I mean, relatively speaking, anyways, they say that I asked for a price rundown for both of these companies because there was some kind of turmoil going on within my company, and they wanted to know price per piece and blah, blah, blah. Not like it matters. I got it, and they've never done anything with that information. But still, they charge more for the onesie-twosie thing. So you'd think they kind of prefer onesie-twosies, because I know it's more work. That's why they don't like it, per se. They got to do all this setup and stuff for one piece. It's kind of annoying. But you make more money off of it. So, cut your losses, I guess. what's the phrase? You take some and you lose some. I don't know, whatever that phrase is. But yeah, and like just like these other parts that they had, they got them done for us, but they've had them since like mid-September, I think. No, early September. I think it was like September 14th or something I sent them out, and I just picked them up today, and it's October 29th. Like, what the heck took 2 months to work on these, especially considering that you used to do stuff for us in 2 days? You know, it's like if they were like this all along, okay, whatever, they're sticking with how they work. But no. And what's even dumber is before they told me, oh, well, lead times are going to increase. You know, we're going to give you the standard 2 week that we give everyone. Okay, fine, 2 weeks. We can deal with that. You didn't say 2 months. You didn't say 8 months. You said 2 weeks. What happened with the 2 weeks deal? So, yeah, it's just annoying because, like, I'm the one that has to deal with this. I know everybody's affected by it. You know, the compression area, primarily that's what it is compression tooling is what we're waiting on forever from them. So, like, the compression area is affected. Yes, I get that. They don't have full sets of tools and all this because of these people. But, like, I'm the one who has to deal with it. I have to keep calling them. I have to keep checking with, hey, how's this coming along? Hey, and it's annoying. Like, I want to be able to send it out and just get it done like it was. Anyways, the ironic part is the guy that was kind of with his work. Well, I had a discussion with him and laid out, like, how we like to see things. And, like, he's really sharpened himself up now. He went from to, like, being really good. He's done work for us overnight. Like a lot too. I've sent out a big order for him once, and he picked it up. He usually comes around 5 p.m. to do his pickups, and he had it back by 9 a.m. the next morning. And I'm like, geez, this other place, I don't want to put names out there, so this other place that would never have done that. Like I said, their best they used to do was 2 days, never mind overnight. But yeah, he's always good now. And after we talked to him about how we think things should be done, like, it's perfect-ish now. It's just as good as the other company. Like, I think before he wasn't so much slacking. It's just he has a crew of guys that works for him, and I don't think they understood, like, what kind of quality we were looking for. So after I broke it down and told him what we were looking for, then he relayed that to his guys, and now that's what they do every time. Where this other company, the one that was better, it's just 2 people. And the guy, he takes pride in his work because he feels like, you know, his work is a reflection of him, which in turn is a reflection of his company. So if he wants to keep/maintain customers, he's got to do good work. Where the other guy, maybe he's a little bit bigger. I don't know. I know he works more in, like, more of a centralized area in the state. So there's cities around. So maybe he does get a lot of work. And that's why he's got a little bit of a team. So he's not so worried, I guess, if his quality's not as on point. But anyways, yeah, this guy has really stepped up, and, like, he's kind of my go-to guy now. And the other company I've just kind of letting fall by the wayside because it's ridiculous how long they take. And it's just, like I said, it's just annoying because I have to deal with this. Oh, cool, they're going to take 7 months to do this. Well, now I'm the one that's going to be on them. Everybody asks me, oh, hey, when's this coming? And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you because it doesn't matter. I can call them, and it's not going to turn anything around. They'll talk a big game, but they don't follow through. I mean, we had a guy that was working for the company for 30 years. He was the lead engineer before me. Basically, they hired me to replace him so that he could move up in the company. And then I guess he didn't like his new position, so he left, and he's not even with the company anymore now. But still, when he was with the company, we had multiple calls. Well, maybe not multiple like that. I think we had 2 calls with him involved calling this company. Plus, I was with I was on the phone with them multiple times myself to figure out, like, what's going on? What can I get my stuff? Why are you guys taking so long? And it's like, it just doesn't matter. We call them and they're just like, yeah, whatever. Well, they're not like, yeah, whatever. They say what we want to hear, but then it's like they hang up and they're like, yeah, whatever. We'll get it done when we want to get it done. And it almost feels like the more we bug them, the more they're just like, yeah, here's the middle finger. You can wait even longer now since you're bugging us. But yeah, it's annoying to have all this stuff. So anyhow, we're supposed to have a meeting with them on Wednesday at 8 in the morning, which, again, this meeting has been taking forever to set up. I literally have been working on setting this meeting up with them for like a month now. And of course, it's still not set up. Well, it is now, but of course it took a month to get set up. Like, they're just following through with their business model. Hey, we take 8 months to get work done. We'll take a month to get a meeting done. I mean, come on, this meeting is probably going to be half an hour tops. You couldn't have done anything faster than in a month? Basically, yeah, I mean, it will be November on Wednesday, so basically it is a month how long this took. But anyways, the point of this meeting is for us as a group. It's going to be the president of the company, the plant manager, the tool room guy, and me, all with them. There's only 2 of them. So we're going to be in a room together, and we're just going to be talking to them about their crappy service and like what happened. You know, do you guys have a lot of big new customers? Like, we don't, because from what I understand, like I said, I've only been with the company for 2 years, but from what I understand, they've always been good all along. They've always banged out what we had for them. And then just recently, now it's like this. And what they first told me in the very beginning was because of COVID. Oh, well, because of COVID, we have a lot of stuff for the medical industry, so it's going to put a little bit of a lead time on your guys' work. So it was like, okay, that's understandable. COVID screwed everything up, and I'm sure the medical industry did have a lot of crap that they needed made, syringes and all that. So the companies that were making molds for syringes, they need their stuff plated, so I get it. But like, what is it now? I don't think the medical stuff is booming anymore, because now it exists. That boom is over. Now it exists. Everybody has it. It's kind of like masks. In the beginning, they were impossible to find. Now they're super easy. Barely an inconvenience. You know what that's from? The Screen Rant guy. Ryan George, I think his name is, does the pitches. You should check him out. They're not bad. He's pretty fluid. He makes fun of a lot of stuff that you don't normally think of until he says it, and then you're like, oh, yeah, you got a point there. Anyways, not to go off topic, but yeah, they already exist. So you know they're not working on that anymore. So it's like, what happened? Did you get a new big customer and they're feeding you tons of work, so you're prioritizing them? Or like, what happened? It's always been the 2 of them, so it's not like they lost a lot of staff and they're like, oh, we're way overworked, the 2 of us. It's been you 2 all along. I mean, from what I hear here and there, they've had a 3rd guy, but like even then, he's kind of just like a setup guy. It's not like he was super integral in their process. So anyways, yeah, we're supposed to have that meeting on Wednesday, and basically, depending on how that goes, is going to determine if I ever even use this company anymore. Like, I've been looking into new companies to just ditch them for, and yeah, a lot of them aren't very local, though. That's the only thing that sucks. Like, this place is fairly local. I mean, it's about half an hour away. Like I've said in the past, these T4Casts I usually make on my trips to them. You know, it's half hour one way, half hour back on average. So, but relatively speaking, it's fairly local. It's straight the whole way. It's not like there's all these turns and stuff. It's straight. So, yeah, but some of these other places they're far. They would definitely be an hour plus ride one way. I mean, one of these companies looks close to where my last company was, and that was 80 minutes on a good day. There was sometimes it took me 2 hours to get to work. So not as local, which means we couldn't just go there. We'd have to ship everything, so then you're incurring shipping costs now, unless they want to come out, because like I said, the other guy, he works in the center of the state and he travels out, so he takes like the hour ride to come to us to save on those shipping costs probably and stuff. It also makes like a more personal touch though, to know that he's actually coming and will actually bring the stuff back, so you know it's more safe than just shipping it, and the UPS guy doesn't care. But yeah, so I've been looking into it. I have a few options. I haven't reached out to them yet, but I have a few options that are just kind of there. Just, you know, if I need to, pull the trigger and send them an email. Hey, my name's this. I'm from this company. What are your prices? What are your lead times? What can you do for us? But yeah, like I said, depending on how that meeting goes. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll resolve things and it'll be perfect, and they'll be like, sorry that we've been screwing you over. Didn't think anybody actually cared, but maybe I guess you do now we're having this meeting. I don't know why they think nobody cared based on how many times I call them and how the last guy was, like I said, before he left and everything. But yeah, and I mean, I'm going to ditch them regardless of what anyone else says either. Like, even if the president of the company doesn't want me to, or the plant manager, I'm just going to have a discussion with them and be like, look, I know they do good work. They do really good work. Everything, I mean, I was just there, obviously, for a pickup. I say obviously because I'm making this right now, and they only do it when I'm driving. But I was just there, and they have a couple parts that they didn't want to send to me because they like to do everything per PO. So those parts are on a different PO, so they didn't want to send them. But like, the way they look is it's just perfect. Like, it's just a piece of metal with some chrome on it, but it's just super sexy. It's a nice mirror finish. I mean, you literally can look into it and see yourself. It is a mirror finish. And it's just super perfect, smooth, even, everything. But these lead times are ridiculous. And kind of, if you want to say, the service sucks now too. Like I said, they used to come out all the time. Just like the other guy. They would come out, do pickups and drop-offs. Always the pickups. Sometimes drop-offs. Once in a while I did have to go out, like I said. But it wasn't annoying. Now it's annoying to have to go out every time. And I think what I'm extra annoyed about today is because the stuff that I brought out to them, the stuff that I went out to pick up, I also had something that I did bring out though. It just annoys me because I wanted them to bring that stuff with them and then they could pick up the crap that we had to give them when they came out on Wednesday. But it's been so long now that we're at a point where they need these parts, and so I have to go take the trip to go get them. We can't wait till Wednesday. And it's just annoying to me. Like, I don't want to bend to them. They need to bend to us a little bit. It doesn't have to be as drastic as it was before. Maybe before was too much for them, and they thought they were bending too much to cater to us. But you can bend a little bit. This is just annoying. It's super inconvenient to me. Like, now I can't be doing my job. Today I have a lot to do. I don't even know if I'll be able to finish it all today, which is fine. I can do it Monday, but that's not the point. The point is I think there's an expectation that I will finish it all today, but I don't even know if I'm going to have time. And it's just annoying because it's like, well, if I didn't have to go take this hour plus actually, because today I had to stop to get gas, and like I really had to. I wasn't even trying to like dick around or anything. I was down to like 30 miles to empty tank. So I had to stop and get gas, and they were talking to me a little bit about the parts. They saw some pitting, and the one who actually does the plating, he was kind of annoyed, and he was showing me the pits, and I mean, I don't care. It doesn't faze me. He's just telling me. It might sound like he's like kind of talking to me, talking crap about me, but at the end of the day, I'm like, well, I didn't do anything, so it doesn't really faze me. But because the other one was like, oh, don't make him feel bad, and I'm like, I'm not worried. I didn't do this. I don't care. I mean, it's a little embarrassing for our company, but I didn't do it. I'm just the messenger. I'm just bringing these to you for you to work on them. But anyway, so there was that too. They were chatting, then I have to get gas, so that just adds to my trip as well. So now it's more than an hour, let's say an hour 20 minutes total that's wasted that I could have been working on some of this stuff and banging some of this out. Anyhow, that's it. That's the little things that are just irritating me. Like I said, it's nothing I'm going to quit my job over. It's just stupid things that I feel like, A, I don't have any control over. That's what makes me more frustrated. And B, it's things that are like, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Like, I feel like I know they can be better, / they're just time wasters. And that's what irritates me. Like the people talking to me. Why do you talk to me? Do I give off a vibe that I'm a chatter? No. I'm wicked antisocial. I don't want to talk. Leave me alone. Or like the purchasing person. I know this can be done much faster. I had the experience with 2 other people before you. So why does it take you 2+ weeks and with me bugging you? Like, I almost want to do an experiment and see how long it would take her to get me the POs without bugging her. But I'm like, I can only imagine. It's probably going to be like 3 months. And I can't wait that long to get a PO. And then, like I said, this plating company. It's just like, I know you can do better because you have. What happened? You used to come out, you used to bang stuff out in 2 days. Now it takes you 6 months, and I got to do all the travel. On top of that, the other guy really sharpened himself up, and he can do stuff overnight, which I always find amusing, because one time I was saying something about, I think I dropped something off on like a Monday, and I said, do you think you guys could have this by Thursday? And they were just running down like their timeline. They're like, oh, it's literally humanly impossible. There's literally no way that we could just do this with this and this, and they're doing a little rundown. And I'm just standing there like, oh, okay, yep, all right. Just going along with them. But in my head, I'm thinking, okay, 1, you used to do stuff for us in 2 days. Now 4 days is asking for too much. I mean, because if you count Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's 4 days that they could work on it. So it's like, now 4 days is too much. 2 days used to be perfect. Now 4 days is too much. Okay, cool. Nice excuses. And then I'm thinking about this guy doing overnight. I'm like, it's funny. He also could bang it out overnight. Humanly impossible? He picked something up on I don't know, maybe it was like a Tuesday at 5 p.m. Brought it back by Wednesday 9 a.m. Impossible though? Really? Okay. Anyhow, I guess that's it. I usually like to talk until I'm actually back to work, but I think I covered all my topics, so yeah, that's all. And until either the next cast or whatever comes next, I said see ya.